This is a screenshot from my Samsung Galaxy S7 Plus showing most of the apps I use to do my content creation for YouTube. Many of them may not look familiar, but using these products I've been able to create a process for editing my videos efficiently and on a budget. I'm going to show you how I do this next. Today's video won't be a review of each product since that would take quite a while to do. It's more of a look at the products I've adapted to my content creation process and how I use them together to create the videos you get to see. There are some other apps I use that I won't cover here today, and that's just because they're either rarely used or they could be substituted by many other products depending on what you would be comfortable with. With that said, let's get started. Something that may not be obvious if you don't use Android a lot is its file system. For the apps I'm going to demonstrate, many of them store their files in default locations without any mention of these locations. These files can end up almost anywhere depending on the developer, but I'll show you some of the common locations. The DSIM folder usually holds images and videos saved here from your built-in camera. Screen captures are also saved here when using the Android hotkey, which works by pressing and releasing power and volume down at the same time. The pictures folder is where a lot of edited images are saved. For my apps, Image Editor and Logopit Plus save their files to this folder. The music folder is where my audio files from Lexis Audio Editor default to when saved. With Lexis though, the save option will display the file structure and allow you to select an alternative folder to save your file to. Something else to think about when working in Android is that some apps will only work in portrait mode. My workaround for this is the ability for my tablet to rotate within the case, as you can see here. I found it to be a useful capability. This computer is a Samsung Galaxy Tab S7 Plus. It's an Android device that's on a level of high-end when looking at price and performance. I've had it for about 2 years and it's been able to handle all the work I've thrown at it without issue. It doesn't quite look like a tablet in this form because I have it attached to a case I made in a previous video. The case allows me to always have a keyboard with my tablet, and though the keyboard has a touchpad, I always have a Bluetooth mouse as well. The case is a 1/16-inch thick aluminum shell that provides good protection. The main reason I use an Android tablet to create content as opposed to other types of computers is because it's easy to find free and simple software on the Android platform. Because my main goal is to have a budget-conscious setup, free is a priority and function and simplicity follows right behind that. I'll be going over the software shortly, but getting back to this tablet, because it's on a level of being flagship, this is one of the items I use that has a hefty price tag attached to it. I don't remember how much I paid for this tablet, but it was close to $1,000. If the Galaxy Tab S7 Plus is beyond your budget, I've used a Galaxy Tab S4 with KineMaster with good results. Knowing that, you should be able to use a Tab S4, Tab S5, or Tab S6 and still take advantage of all of KineMaster's features. Note that there are different versions of each S model, so be sure it's at least the one I mentioned or faster. There are light models that are slower, so don't get those unless they're faster than the Tab S4. There are so many questions one could have regarding tablets, so if you have any, leave them in the comments and I'll get to them as soon as I see them. So this is how I close up shop. The case folds up small enough to store in my backpack, and it served me well as my sort of Android laptop. As mentioned, KineMaster is the video editor I use. On the Play Store, it's doing really well. As you can see on this screenshot, it has 4.4 stars and more than 100 million downloads. I've always felt one thing that makes a good company stand out is good support. To request support through KineMaster, there's an email button on the FAQ section of the app. I've used this twice so far and have gotten responses within 24 hours with the solution to my problem. Also, if you look in the comment section of their app, you can find company responses to many negative comments. For me, support has been great. You can find more info about what it does in the Play Store. If you drill down through the description, it'll give you the newest features added along with a list of standard features to expect. KineMaster is also available on iOS. You can use KineMaster for free, but the catch is you'll have a watermark added to all your videos. When I first started creating videos for YouTube, this didn't bother me. After about a year though, I did feel I wanted my videos to look better, so I took the plunge and paid the annual subscription of $22.99. Considering it's the only content creation software I pay for, I don't mind that price. With KineMaster, my favorite feature to use on occasion is the overlay, or at least that's what I call it. In KineMaster, it's known as video layers. What this is the ability to have 2 or more videos playing in the same frame concurrently. There are many ways to use this feature, so the look you end up with is totally up to you. The first thing you have to do when you start KineMaster for the very first time is to run an analysis of your device. When it's done, it'll capture some information it needs about your device, one of them being how many layers you can process simultaneously depending on your CPU. For my top-of-the-line Samsung, I can do this many layers at these resolutions. My Tab S4 could only do 2 layers at 1080p, but that is about the most I've ever used anyway, even on this tablet. Google Drive is Google's online storage product. When installed, it works in conjunction with Docs, Sheets, and Slides, but only as a viewer. The apps for each of those also have to be installed to do any editing. For content creation, I've only needed Docs. Within Drive, I've set up a structure of documents named using a combination of the date to be published followed by the project name. Work in progress files are at one level of the folder structure. Completed projects are stored in subfolders by year. This structure makes it easy to find anything for a specific year if I know what I'm looking for, or Drive's search function can also search all folders, which is usually easier than trying to remember an old project. The first thing I do when I have a new idea is to fill in one of my Google Docs project templates. The templates help me remember what information I need, and the pre-formatted layout easily organizes the photos, video clips, and voiceover scripts I'll need for the video. Having the template as a reference also helps with working on multiple projects at the same time. I might get stuck on one project because I don't have all the parts. While I'm waiting on ordered parts for that project, I can refer to the template of another project and continue working on that one, easily remembering where I left off based on the notes in that template. In the same way Google Drive manages files online, File Manager Plus manages the files on my tablet. It can manage online files as well, but I stick with Google Drive for that. When working on my tablet, it has a decent amount of built-in storage, but instead of storing my project files there, I instead keep those and some other content creation files on a 128GB microSD card. The project folders are these listed at the top of the listing. Each of these project folders contains all the video clips, photos, and voice recordings necessary to combine in KineMaster to create that project's YouTube video. A feature I find useful in File Manager Plus is the feature to back up an app. Selecting it from the main screen gives a list of installed apps on my device. Long pressing an app in the list displays options at the bottom. Selecting Backup will create a backup copy of the APK file for that app. This can be useful when a new version of an app is installed and the feature used a lot begins to malfunction. Now what I can do is go to the backup APK file and install that older version of the app. This version will have the working feature before it was updated, and it's just a matter of waiting for the new version of the app to be fixed. Lexis Audio Editor has helped simplify my video production a lot. I'm not the best speaker in front of a camera. I had always planned to do audio separately as voiceover recordings that can later be combined to the video using KineMaster, but then after my first few videos, I realized I make just as many mistakes doing voice recordings as I do standing in front of the camera. This is where Lexis Audio Editor helped to resolve this problem, and I'll show you what I mean with this example. Lexis Audio Editor has made creating and I'll insert this mistake in the script here. Audio recordings much easier. Lexis Audio Editor has made creating, and I'll insert this mistake in the script here, audio recordings much easier. So with that recording, including the mistake, I can edit it in Lexis Audio Editor by selecting the start and end of the mistake and deleting it. This would bring together the two sections that, when played back without the mistake, will sound like one perfect continuous recording. Lexis Audio Editor has made creating audio recordings much easier. Logopit Plus was an unexpected tool for me. When I was first told about it, I could not see why I would need a specialized tool for creating thumbnails. I was so used to creating them using an image editing tool, which wasn't hard to do, so there didn't seem to be a benefit to using this product. What made me see things differently was a live demonstration by the same person on how he creates a thumbnail. After that demonstration, I realized this really could be a useful tool. I hadn't realized there were so many different variations of thumbnails to go with all the different social media products. I only do YouTube videos, so my needs are simple, but there are even multiple canvas sizes just for different YouTube thumbnails. Along with YouTube, though, there are many other thumbnail templates. I'll go through the steps of creating a simple thumbnail just to give you an idea of how simple and quick it can be. I'll see if I can copy one of my old thumbnails using the original image file that served as the background, and at the same time you can see how helpful the step-by-step process is. About the only other thing I do once I complete the initial step-by-step process is to add text, which is another set of steps. I won't demonstrate the next 4 products because they are pretty simple to use. The purpose they serve is very specific, as you can probably tell by the name. All of these apps are free and are very basic tools for accomplishing what they're named for. This is Image Editor, which is not on the level of Photoshop or GIMP. It fits my needs because I don't really like editing photos too much, so I'm purposely looking for something with a simple set of tools. I'm actually using this less and less as I find I can do some of the effects in Logopit Plus. This is Background Eraser. This is a unique tool that I do need on occasion. I typically use it when I need an effect where the main subject in the photo is not altered, but the rest of the photo needs an effect like blur, colored, black and white, or exploding. It's usually hard to find a single product that does multiple effects of this style. What I do is apply the effect to the background, then add an unaltered overlay of just the main subject from the same photo, but with the background erased. Video Converter is extremely easy to use. Whatever features it has is right in the main screen when you open the app. Select any one, you'll be prompted through the steps. There may be some wait time depending on your source file's size, but otherwise it's really simple to use. This product is something I'm still researching, but I know it'll come in handy for me. I think part of my problem is I want a free app. Microsoft makes something called Hyperlapse, which is a good product, but the version that works with 4K video requires the paid version of the app. I've tried some other free apps with terrible results. Most don't output 4K. For now, I'll live with the stabilization my Pixel 5 provides for 4K video. The last part of my setup to share with you is on the pricier side, and that is my Pixel phones that I use for cameras. Like the tablet, the camera can be anything that works for you. The Pixel phones I have are the 5, which is the one at the top with the MKBHD skin, and the 2 below it are Pixel 3s. My typical setup with more than one camera is to have one setup for top view and a second setup for front view. If needed, I might set a third camera up to get a side view at the same height level as the front view camera. The amazing stills and video I can capture on a smartphone has made life a lot easier as a content creator, comparing that to all the DSLR equipment I usually have with me to do the same thing. There are some effects that aren't possible yet on a smartphone, but I've used software for that for now. I'm hoping in time the smartphone will replace the DSLR. Technology is supposed to make life easier, and this is a good place to do it. That's all I have for this video. It was a long one and it really did take a lot of work putting it together. So much so that as soon as I completed editing everything, I decided to get away from the computer, the TV, and the indoors and head to the beach park to enjoy some sun and outdoor activity. I'm out and about with my Meepo scooter, putting more miles on the 6-inch scooter wheels that replaced my 90mm Meepo wheels. To see more on how I did that, you can search for videos on my Meepo V3 conversion. I hope this video encourages you to give content creation on a budget a try. If you already like photography and videography, content creation is a fun hobby that, along with your camera skills, will allow you to express your artistic point of view to an audience you might not have been able to reach otherwise. Leave your questions and comments in the comment section below. That's all I have for now, and I'll catch you in the next video.